Windows Starter Edition, Home and Home Premium do not include gpedit. How do I install it? I want to make some changes to Windows that require using the Group Policy Editor, gpedit.msc. Unfortunately, the Group Policy Editor is not included with the Starter Edition, Home and Home Premium editions of Windows. How can I install it?
How do I install gpedit.msc on Windows Starter Edition, Home and Home Premium? I use the following procedure to successfully install gpedit.msc on Windows 7 64-bit Home Premium. Notes: confirmed as working on Windows 10 by Moab. It apparently works on Windows 8, Windows 8.1 and Windows 10 as well. I have not personally tested this. Update: according to our readers, this tool also works fine in Windows 8, Windows 8.1 and Windows 10. Today we are going to share a simple installer which installs the required system files in Windows so that you can enjoy Group Policy Editor of all Windows 7 editions. First, download the setup file using following link. Download Group Policy Editor Installer. After downloading the zip file, extract it using WinRAR or 7-zip. Run the extracted setup.exe file. It will install the files and you'll be able to access gpedit.msc command via Run or Start menu search box. Note: for Windows 7 64-bit, x64, users, you'll also need to go to syswow64 folder present in C:\Windows folder and copy Group Policy users folders and gpedit.msc file from there and paste them in C:\Windows system32 folder. If you are getting MMC could not create the snap and error message while running gpedit.msc, check out following steps to fix the problem. Basically, it happens when your username in Windows contains more than one word. Run the installer and leave it at the last step, do not click on the Finish button. Now go to C:\Windows /temp /gpedit folder. If you are running 32-bit, x86 edition of Windows 7, right-click on x86.bat file and choose Open with in GT, Notepad option. If you are running 64-bit, x64 edition of Windows 7, right-click on x64.bat file and choose Open with in GT, Notepad option. You'll find a total of 6 lines containing the following string in the file: %username %:f. Edit those lines and replace %username %:f with %username %:f. Original, =vendor /syswow64 /gpedit.dll/grant column or %username %:f. New, =vendor /syswow64 /gpedit.dll/grant column or %username %:f. Save and run the file, right-click in GT, run as administrator. That's it. You'll have working gpedit.msc. Source: how to enable Group Policy Editor, gpedit.msc in Windows 7 Home Premium, Home Basic and Starter editions. Group Policy Settings Reference Guide. Microsoft has updated and made available as a download the complete Group Policy Settings Reference Guide for Windows 10, Windows 8.1, Windows 8, Windows 7, Windows Vista, Windows Server 2003 SP2, Windows Server 2008 R2 and Windows Server 2012 R2. The download is available in the form of spreadsheets for different operating systems. So you can download the spreadsheet only for those operating systems /s which you may be interested in. Spreadsheet download link. What is also very useful in these spreadsheets is that it also lists the registry keys which are affected when the settings are changed. Of course, you can always use the group policy settings search to know the registry key and value name that backs a particular policy setting, but these spreadsheets put them all in one place. The administrative template spreadsheet contains 3 columns that provide more information about each policy setting's behavior related to reboots, log-offs, and schema extensions. These columns are the following. Log-off required. A yes in this column means that the Windows operating system requires the user to log off and log on again before it applies the described policy setting. Reboot required. A yes in this column means that the Windows operating system requires a restart before it applies the described policy setting. Active Directory schema or domain requirements. A yes in this column means that you must extend the Active Directory schema before you can deploy this policy setting. Status. A new in this column means that the setting did not exist prior to Windows Server 2012 and Windows 8. It does not mean that the setting applies only to Windows Server 2012 and Windows 8. Refer to the column entitled Supported On to determine to which operating system the policy setting applies. Source Group Policy Settings Reference Guide for Windows 10 8.1/7/server.
Windows, at least Windows 10 Home, comes with Group Policy Editor packages, but it is disabled by default. You can install it just like any other optional feature using DISM. The Group Policy package files can be found in with file names matching and command for installing would follow the following format. /online used to tell it to apply to the running OS. /no-start tells it to not auto-reboot. After installing these, gpedit.msc will be available. No need to download an external executable that you have to trust or find out if it is safe or not.
Since alternative to gpedit.msc for Windows Home Editions is marked as a duplicate of this question, although it technically isn't, I'll post an alternative to gpedit here. Every group policy corresponds to a registry value, which you can edit with regedit. The correspondences, including the different values, are documented on search.azurewebsites.net. It is apparently maintained by a Microsoft employee, so it's pretty reliable.
Buy an upgraded version of Windows that includes gpedit functionality or unlock the included gpedit package. The lower grades of Windows versions do not include gpedit as a feature while the more expensive ones do. On the Microsoft website, the feature sets are explained for each version of Windows. Gpedit can be unlocked, which indicates that Microsoft gives another way. If you don't want to buy the upgrade, you can add gpedit.msc on Home Edition. gpedit may not allow administrative template changes to have any effect. David Postel linked to a script and some have found that it doesn't work. If you have just now tried to install the script from David Postel's answer, then follow the steps here to reverse some of the changes made by the script. Or, you can skip to the next part adding gpedit.msc. Reverse the script changes from DeviantArt. It is possible that the third-party software from DeviantArt was legitimate when it was compiled, however it is now over 2 years since this question was posted and the third-party software may have become incompatible with today's Windows infrastructure. The third-party script from DeviantArt creates a folder and backs up a copy of the gpedit associated files. Navigate to %vinda%\syswow64\back. To reverse some of the effects of the script, copy the backed up files back into the %vinda%\syswow64 folder. Namely the gpedit.dll, f.dll, kext.dll, upnbr.dll, deploy.dll. Go to the %vinda%\system32 folder and remove or replace the gpedit.msc that was manually copied over. You may want to delete gpedit.msc from the %vinda%\syswow64 folder also. Remove your account from the security permissions that were added to these files if necessary. The %vinda%\syswow64 /group policy, %vinda%\syswow64 /group policy users folders are created and modified by the script as well. There are reverses to be made here. Unfortunately, the DeviantArt script doesn't appear to make backups of these directories. We are not sure how to handle this. You can try deleting the folders possibly. You can maybe delete them from the %vinda%\syswow64 folder as well. After reversing the script and then adding the gpedit.msc feature, we found that Start menu and GT, Windows Administrative Tools and GT, Local Security Policy, app was now present. We couldn't get the gpedit.msc to load directly from command line until resetting the installation from Settings and GT, Updates and GT, Recovery. Adding gpedit.msc. The group policy package files can be found in %systemroot %servicing/packages. Look for file names matching. Microsoft Windows Group Policy Client Extensions Package.mum and Microsoft Windows Group Policy Client Tools Package.mum. Get the names of those .mum files and one by one run the following dism command using the package file names. If asked to restart, then press the Y key to restart and finish adding any remaining packages. It may also be necessary to re-register DLL files if gpedit.msc gives a missing token error. Otherwise, it may be better to avoid re-registering the DLL. To correct a missing token error, try navigating to %vinda%/system32 and run this command taken from this social.technet.microsoft.com article. It may be necessary to reset this PC for a clean gpedit.msc. Back up your files first. An alternative solution from Microsoft support in case of DLL corruption. Microsoft support has recommended to download a new Windows ISO from a different computer. Make certain you have drivers for your media drives, network interfaces and such. Further research has shown that to obtain a retail version of Windows ISO, run the Windows Media Creation tool from an earlier version of Windows or even from Ubuntu or macOS. Otherwise, the Media Creation tool will try to generate an ISO that inherits packages from the current system that it is run from. A final note, please use ethics when modifying the Windows operating system. The default behavior is that there is no group policy editing in Windows Home. By unlocking this package that is not listed as an official feature, we should use good ethics in efforts to maintain Microsoft intended system behavior. Also note, the only reason we have attempted to use these techniques is to try to correct some malware intrusions on our system that otherwise would be untreatable. Microsoft has not been very helpful in solving our issues. At some point, some of the Microsoft licensing parameters should probably become inapplicable since Microsoft hasn't followed through with their end of the terms of service in our case. We were left with no choice but to try to fix this issue ourselves. or else abandon our fair and square purchased version of Windows 10 that somehow became severely corrupted by little or no fault of our own.